But we are going to start first with the Pledge of Allegiance led by one of our residents, Joe Galuzzi. So Joe, come on up and do a push through here. Maybe we could just stay right there. You're all right? Okay. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would just like to take a moment and announce that there's a number of our representatives and also our Senator Richard Blumenthal that couldn't be here today. There's these hearings that are very important going on in Hartford. I think you've heard about the utilities, and that kind of overcame they're able to be here. So I feel bad about that, but we still have some great speakers and a wonderful lunch. You've got to stay for it. Our chef made it. It's wonderful. So you've got to stay and finish. Okay, the first speaker, I'd like to introduce our chairwoman, Dr. Cornelia Levitt Scudder. She's going to say a few words and welcome everyone today. Get by okay?
The body may be going, but the spirit is just fine. Thank you. I was 85 last month. Now, I wrote something so I wouldn't goof up. So here we go. It has to be a very special and blessed day when Hamden Housing Authority shares a moment like this one at our open house celebrating the Recovery Act Weatherization in the town of Hamden, Connecticut. As commissioners, our goals are to support the authority's plans in providing the best housing services to the elderly and the young disabled. As chairman of the commission, it pleases me to greet New Opportunities, Inc. This dedication highlights our professional unity. Do you like those words? Where are the guys? Our professional unity. Now, a few more comments for the rest of us who are here. Just a few. To all our residents and staff, know that you are beautiful. I always tell you that you are beautiful. You should see yourselves from here. You should see yourselves from here. Mara, you're here.
That's all right, all right.
And as always, you are a reflection of your joy just being here to live and in giving service. We appreciate your dedication. That's it. And a personal note. You know, the last thing anyone wants to be is a burden. And as chairman, the staff really puts up with my good spirit and my dedication to them. Thank you, folks. Now, what's going on, Hazel Ann? Where is she?
Oh, right here.
What's on face?
Okay, that's it. I'll come up.
Back to Hazel Ann.
Yes. Did I introduce myself? I might not have. Okay.
May I have the joy of introducing our director, Hazel Ann Cook. Yay!
Oh, very slow. Okay. Representative, our Our Representative Adonofsky is here to say a few words. I'm going to have him speak now because he has to get up to Hartford for the hearings. Please welcome Representative Adonofsky.
Thank you very much for having me here today, and welcome to everyone. We do have public hearings going on today, and one of our favorite subjects up there, and this time it's the public, not the companies. We're having public hearings on Hurricane Irene, and the public is up there today, so I'm anxious to get up there. But I came here today because I wanted to gain more knowledge on the new systems that were put in, the heat pumps and so on. And I believe that we've accomplished a number of things by doing this. First of all, our future costs for providing the air conditioning now, which you have central in the apartments, and the heating is going to cost less to do. And it's bringing, I believe, a lot more comfort and ease to the people that are living in these housing units here in Hamden. I understand that all three areas of housing have been done with the new heat pump systems. I think that's great. I think they also did one in my district in Cheshire. They did one of the Beachport housing has been done also, which is great. And now I understand they're going to be talking to people in Wallingford and some of the other towns, and maybe there's even more in Cheshire and more in Hamden. So I was willing to work with the people involved to give them some contacts that might help them to move this great program forward. And again, I want to thank you for having me here, and if you have any problems or anything like that, they all have my email address and my phone number around, so just feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to ask, can you hear me? No. What happened? No. Oh, I unplugged it. Hazel Ann unplugged. Oh, okay. This is not my forte. I just hate speaking, but I'm going to do it. Now I'd like to hear from our wonderful mayor, Scott Jackson. Please come up and say it.
Thank you. So great to be here today with all of you to celebrate this tremendous accomplishment. We all know that in these times, we all need a few more dollars in our pockets. This program is going to put those dollars back into the pockets of the people who need the most. And you know what? It also helps people work. This is also a program where people are here working hard every day, earning more dollars to go back into their pockets as well. We all know that that government works best when it works in concert with its residents, in concert with other entities that exist, and this was a great collaborative opportunity for the Housing Authority and new opportunities to really come together for a program that makes sense, that has value and has added value year over year, season over season for the residents who live here. This is a great place. I grew up a couple of blocks away and lived most of my life in this park, and for 40 years now I've come back and forth, and this has always been a real special place, and I'm happy to see that this program has made it even more special, an even greater example that, you know, in today, being energy conscious, being energy efficient is also wise fiscal policy. Right now, today, there's no greater place for that principle than right here, and so I'm happy to join you in this celebration. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few words.
Thank you, Scott. Now I would like to mention that Representative Chris Murphy has sent a representative from his office, and I'd like to acknowledge Michael Jones is here today. Thank you, Michael, for coming. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. James H. Gatling, and he is President and CEO of New Opportunities.
Thank you. It is indeed a pleasure to be here today to celebrate with you the work that has been accomplished here at Hamden Village. I want to tell you a little bit about the stimulus program, what the intent was, what were some of our challenges, and to be here today to celebrate the completion of our efforts is to me, is fantastic because we had a lot of challenges. New Opportunities is one of 5 community action agencies that has participated in the Weatherization program, and the state of Connecticut asked us to provide the stimulus weatherization services to the greater New Haven area and the valley. That has been in itself a challenge. Our normal service area is Waterbury and the greater Waterbury area and Meriden. And to come to New Haven area, we had to, again, make friends, get people to understand who we were and who we are. And it's just been a pleasure to work with Hazel Ann Cook of the Hamden Housing Authority because the cooperation and the collaboration that we did to weatherize the units in this area has been tremendous. Oftentimes, we don't get that kind of cooperation. So we are pleased that all the forces came together so that we could have this day. Now, the stimulus weatherization program was a lot different than the normal year-round weatherization program that the community action agencies have been administered since 1974. They placed so many different rules on us with this program. For example, we had to pay the Davis-Bacon wage, which we took months to try to negotiate that out with the State Department of Labor and the U.S. Department of Labor. There was a new lead requirement in terms of how we dispose of the lead. That was something different for this program. Also, historic preservation got into the act in this program. Any units over 50 years old had to be reviewed and approved by the Historic Society. That never happened before. So like delays that we encountered this time, we never had to encounter before. The other issue was we were chosen by the state to do a pilot program in the town of Naugatuck with elderly housing. We weatherized 194 units and we installed the ductless heat pumps. I never knew what a heat pump was until we got involved with this program. And so we installed the heat pumps in Naugatuck, 194 units, and each household, and the mayor talked about the money in your pocket, each household annual savings is $533. That's a lot of savings. And in terms of the utility, it was 9 million kilowatts that were saved. Wow. So there's a significant savings in this program. As we talk about the dwindling dollars for energy assistance, weatherization is really the answer to that problem, and where you can conserve energy and come up with new technology such as the heat pumps. That's really what we need in the units. The Hamden Housing Authority, as again I said, there was a lot of collaboration between State of Connecticut, Hamden Housing Authority, United Illuminating. All of the forces came together because all of the money wasn't stimulus money. We did some cost sharing. So it was significant that this collaboration took place so that we could do all of the work in all of the different units in Hamden. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the money that was spent. In Hamden Village, the total of $523,213 was spent. $381,000 was the stimulus dollars, and 142,207 was from United Illuminating. In Centerville Senior Center, a total of $176,586 was spent. In Mount Carmel Senior Center, $152,232 was spent, for a total of $852,037. And that was because of the collaboration between the state, United Illuminating, bringing the resources together so we can do all of the work that we did in the city of Hamden. Now, to weatherize units like in a complex like this, 66% of the individuals that live here have to be eligible for energy assistance. And that's the way that we were able to do this, because once we did the energy assisted eligibility determination and found out that you met that criteria, we were able to do that. One thing about all of these programs, there's a lot of guideline, red tape, and rules that we have to follow to make it happen. But we have such a dedicated staff. Not only did the stimulus money create jobs in terms of contractors, but it also created administrative jobs in terms of our agency. And we have, I think, the best crew that we assembled together for the stimulus program that made it happen, not only in Hamden, but other towns around the state that we provided this type of service. So at this time, I would like all of the new opportunity staff that's involved with the weatherization program to please stand, and I'd like for you to give them a hand. One of the other challenges that we had was the energy audit that we have, and we really had many problems with that. And we recently just contracted with a new DOE approved audit that we can do multifamily units, 4 stories and more. And one thing about this program, it has evolved in that we run into problem, all the forces come together to solve the problem, and we make it work. For example, the heat pump issue, we had a major problem with the state building inspector in terms of that. But we didn't give up on the heat pump because we realized that there was significant savings to be gathered from utilizing the heat pump. So everyone worked together. We worked with our engineering firm. We even hired an engineering firm to work with us during this process. DTC, Dr. Atleru is here. They all work with us and the state building inspector so that we could solve this problem. This problem was not just a problem for us, it was a problem for the whole state in terms of the heat pump, because everybody understands that there's some significant savings together from the utilization of the heat pumps. So in closing, we thank everyone for being here today, and it is a celebration for us, because this has been a lot of hard work that all have come together, and now we're going to be reading about all of the savings that you will be receiving as a result of the work that we did, and that's really what it was all about. And finally, I talked in terms of collaboration. Our major partner in all of this is the State Department of Social Service. Department of Social Service is like a family to us. And you know how families do. We fuss and fight, but we get it right. And that's what we have done with this program, because we know the bottom line is about you that are here, that live in units like this, and we all want to get it right. We want to satisfy our funding sources. We want to satisfy you who are our customers, and that's why we do what we do. And that being said, I would like to introduce this afternoon the Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Social Services, Claudette Bouillier, who has been responsible for the weatherization program. And that's one of the areas under her responsibility. And again, Claudette knows well that she and I fight all the time. But again, at the end of the day, we both are smiling today. And I thank God for that. Claudette Bouillier.
Jim's absolutely right. We are like a family, and we've had plenty of stuff to discuss, spirited discussions along the way, but at the end of the day, he's right. We're smiling because we look out and we see all of you here, and we know that we've done something that really is going to make a difference in your lives, and that's what both DSS and New Opportunities are all about. We have common clients. We have common interests. We want to do everything that we can to help you. And I really couldn't ask for a better partner than New Opportunities in this effort. We had a big challenge at DSS. Weatherization is but one of our programs, and the regular weatherization program that is a year-round program, it's a little tiny program in the scheme of the programs that the department runs. DSS, we're responsible for over $5.5 billion, yes, billion dollars, most of which goes to healthcare. The regular weatherization program is usually a $2 to $3 million a year program, and we weatherize maybe 700, 800 units a year statewide. So when the Stimulus Act came through, and we learned that we were going to be getting $64.3 million, that's $64.3 million, we all looked at each other and went, wow, how are we going to do this? How are we going to ramp up from a little tiny program to something this big? We had our challenges. There's no doubt about it. And we turned to New Opportunities to run this this is something new. The regular weatherization program does not do heat pumps. It does not do housing authorities. We do single-family homes, two-family homes, rental units, but we generally don't do properties that are part of a housing authority or other state-financed properties. When we wanted to get this off the ground, we knew that there would be a lot of ground that we had never covered, and we turned to Jim. I can't remember if you volunteered or if we twisted his arm, but at any rate, Jim, being committed to helping people, said, we'll figure it out. We'll work with you and figure it out. It hasn't been easy, but I do want to congratulate New Opportunities because they are doing a fabulous job. We have approximately 2,300 units statewide that New Opportunities has contributed. We have exceeded 7,500 units, housing units statewide. That was our target in our plan that we filed with the feds in 2009. We have until March 31st, 2012 to spend this money. We have exceeded our target, and we are going to spend all of the $64.3 million, and we're probably going to weatherize over 10,000 units statewide. New Opportunities is playing a big part in this. I would be remiss, however, if I didn't acknowledge some other significant partners. United Illuminating and Connecticut Light and Power. I know Chris Ellert, I can't see, there you are. Chris Ellert here of United Illuminating came to the table to help us with the costs of the heat pumps, the Connecticut Energy Efficiency Fund. Those dollars have contributed to this effort. And last but not least, I really want to acknowledge the staff of the Department of Social Services who are here today, who have worked night and day to figure out solutions to issues that have come up along the way and to make sure that these units have come to be a reality. I'd like to ask Pam Giannini, Carlene Taylor, Mia Dallaire, and I don't know if we have any other DSS staff here to stand up, and if you could all give them a round of applause, please. So, I'm not going going to take up any more time because I know that you're eager to have lunch and you're eager to tour the units. But again, I want to say congratulations to the Hamden Housing Authority, congratulations to the residents, congratulations to New Opportunities and my staff, and I know that this is going to pay off in the long run in savings long-term for all of you. And not just that, but I forgot to mention one other thing that's very important. The stimulus bill was not just about weatherizing homes, it was also about creating jobs. To date, we've retained or created over 600 new jobs in the state of Connecticut just through these dollars alone. And that really does put money back into the economy, puts money into the pocket of people. It provided training opportunities to learn skills for the green jobs industry. It really has been a wonderful thing for the state of Connecticut. So congratulations and thank you.
At this time, I'd like one of our residents, Audrey Turner, to come up and say a few words as she's one of our residents at at Centerville Village. Come on up, Audrey. I also have some notes here. I'm Audrey Turner. I'm resident of Centerville Village for over 5 years now. I'm a retired RN. I'm a widow living alone. So during those 5 years, excuse me, thanks to Hazel Ann Cook, there have been many projects completed to ensure our comfort and safety. I'd like to thank Hamden Housing Authority and New Opportunities for the installation of the new state-of-the-art heat pumps. The workers from New Opportunities were efficient and professional. When the job was completed, everything was cleaned up and my apartment was back to normal. It was a pleasure to have a crew that was so competent, thoughtful, and pleasant. I have been running both ACs night and day during the record-setting heat we've experienced this summer and today. They are quiet and efficient, and they're lifesavers for me because I have a medical condition that requires me to be in an AC environment. I was concerned about the utility bill until my August bill arrived. It was only $50. So I'd like to say to everyone involved, bringing this wonderful project to fruition, it's been, I understand now after listening to the speakers, it's not just one person, one company. It's too bad our government in Washington can't work as closely together and have such wonderful results. So I feel this was another step taken to maintain our quality of life at Centerville Village and the other villages in Hamden. So thank you all very much. Thank you, Audrey. I'd like to now introduce Representative State Rep Larry Butler. He's going to say a few words.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. It is my pleasure to be here at this opening. I am very proud of the Hamden Housing Authority as well as New Opportunities for this initiative. My name is Larry Butler. I'm a state representative from Waterbury. I am the chairman of housing here in the state of Connecticut. And I also serve on Human Services Committee, which actually works hand in hand with the Department of Social Services. I'm glad to see the Deputy Commissioner was here. And with all the organizations such as New Opportunities and all the CAP agencies. And you've heard from Dr. Gatling here today. I can tell you that you could have no better advocate than Dr. Gatling and his staff. I happen to be a little impartial about this because he's from Waterbury, I'm from Waterbury, and he has great staff, which he introduced. They do a great job. But I can tell you for the people here, what's more important than anything else is they put people first. And as you're here, I know that that's something that you want to hear. You want, besides all the government involvement and the agencies, you want to know that people are going to put you and your needs first. And that's what you can count on here. And hopefully the collaboration between the Hamden Housing Authority and New Opportunities will continue to do just that, putting you and your interest first. And as a state representative, I plan to work with them, not get in their way, but to help them help you. So thank you for the opportunity to speak for you today.
I'd now like to introduce Raymond Sullivan. He's with the Northwest Regional Workforce Investment Board.
Thank you very much. I'm here today representing Kathy Awad, who's the director of the Northwest Regional Workforce Investment Board. And for those of you that do not know, what we do is we work with the unemployed of the community to try to create some skill sets and training so that they can enter gainful employment. And the Weatherization program did offer some unique challenges, but I think everything worked out pretty darn well. First of all, I want to thank Kathy for all her help and direction. It's nice to be here because we see the recipients of all the work, and I didn't realize I was going to get this much of a enjoyment out of today, but it's nice to see the people that benefit from all the efforts and to see that dollars are really spent for real good, and it's the community and the residents in that community. So thank you very much for your patience and effort. We had you in mind as we developed this program, and to train people, first of all, we had to select the correct people. We wanted to make sure that people that went into your homes and into your environment respected the fact that they were going into your house. We wanted to make sure that they had the right training. We got a lot of help along the way. First of all, terrific direction initially from New Opportunities, who have already been involved in the weatherization programs. And hats off again to Joanne Belichick, Norm Lambert, Mike Gorecka, and crew for a great job. Also, I want to thank the utilities for keeping us, and some great companies, for keeping us aware of what was really needed. What were the real qualifications for individuals? What were the real skill sets that were necessary to create the proper workforce to do this type of labor? The trainings became more professional as the program evolved, and new requirements demanded better labor and better trained people, and I think we did a pretty good job of keeping the training going. We work with some good companies: Wesson Energy, Energy Pros, Green Star Energy, Victory out of Berlin, Connecticut, and everybody helped, and it was all with you in mind. Now, going forward, I'm very hopeful that weatherization continues in the state of Connecticut. I personally feel dollar for dollar it is the best investment of our taxpayer dollars. What we're talking about here is job creation and energy sustainability to lessen our demand on foreign imports, to lessen the demand for coal and materials that are not conducive to our environment. These are things that should be important to us, and I'm hoping that this type of return on investment continues in the state of Connecticut. Thanks very much.
Thank you. I'd like to now introduce State Representative Roland J. Lamar, who just came in, just joining us. Please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I apologize for being late. I was at an event with Senator Blumenthal, who's also rushing to be here as well. You know, this is one of those days. We're in West Haven talking about how the same funding source was being used to create jobs in West Haven. And we get to come here today and talk about what's happening in Hamden. We have a wonderful housing authority that's really active, engaged in the future, not only of our community, but of each and every individual who lives here now, who will live here in the future. This is one of the great stories of what government and public policy can do to really inspire a community. What they're doing here, how we're saving money for residents, how we're saving money for taxpayers, how we're saving money for the federal government, local governments, how we're creating jobs, and how we're lessening that reliance on foreign oil. This is a win-win-win. This meets every one of the things that we're trying to do in today's economy, put people back to work, save us dollars, and really define a better future for the town of Hamden. I couldn't be prouder to be here today. Senator Blumenthal will try to be here in time to also outline his appreciation for all of the great work, all the great effort that's happening here in Hamden. I couldn't be prouder to be up here with my colleague, Representative Butler, who, despite representing Waterbury, cares passionately about the future for this entire state and makes sure on a daily basis that we're investing additional dollars into projects like this, not just here in Hamden, but across Connecticut. Peter Villano, who's a representative for this district, unfortunately had emergency surgery last week and was unable to come. And I know he sends his best wishes as well. Again, so proud to be here today. Proud for what this says about the future of our community. Proud about how aggressive and how wonderful our local housing authority is and what we've been able to accomplish. And prouder still to continue to work on behalf of all of you. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. And now I'd like to introduce Jeff Gaudiosi, and he's with the Department of Energy and Environmental Preservation. Please come on up. Nice to see you.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me here today. I am Jeff Gaudiosi. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Connecticut Energy Efficiency Fund. And I want to add myself alongside Dr. Gatling, Representative Butler, is a Waterbury native, although I went to law school here in Hamden. But you may not know what the Energy Efficiency Fund is, but basically we are a group of volunteers who represent customers of all different backgrounds and classes who come together to develop programs and incentives to help people save energy. We work closely with the utilities so that they could go out and promote these programs and put them into action alongside the vendors. But the most important thing to remember about the fund is that you pay for it every month. And every time you pay your electric bill, there's a small charge on there that gets put into this fund. And that's the money we work with to try to develop these programs that we could give back to you, and you end up saving even more money out of it. And you know, we do a lot of events like this, and one of the reasons why I love coming out and doing them is we spend a lot of time talking about these programs and working with the utilities to come up with incentives and working with the vendors to find new technologies. But it's not until we come and do something like this that we can actually see what it all means, that we can actually see how it works in your homes and what it saves you. And that really makes it worth everything we do. And whenever I go and to speak to a lot of schools on stuff like this, one thing I always tell the kids is I give them a homework assignment. I tell them they have to go home and tell their parents what it is their school is doing to make it energy efficient, and to tell their parents that they could take advantage of those programs too by just making a simple call or even a simple click on their utility website. So I'd like to kind of do the same thing here today with you guys. Tell your families about this. Show them what's been done in your units. Show them your electric bill so that they can see the benefits of it. And let them know that they already pay into this fund and this money is there waiting for them. And all they need to do is make a quick phone call to their utility company or just go online and search for the efficiency fund. And they could find ways of using these programs in their own homes and achieving the same type of savings that you guys can see here. So again, congratulations. Hopefully you'll enjoy your savings on your bills and know that you're also helping the environment by using a lot less energy. So enjoy your day and thank you for having me.
Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Chris Eller. He's with United Illuminating.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I've actually had the privilege, or maybe not so much the privilege, to actually see Hazel Ann unplugged. You will recall an event that we were at, and we had done some work here. I think it was on a small business project. You were waiting to get some answers from Mr. Haller in our group, and by gosh, if you don't have a stronger advocate in Hazel Ann, I don't know who does, to make sure that you folks are represented. You've heard a lot from the speakers today about the partnership here with the funding, and down in Washington, there's a lot of bickering about the stimulus funds or ERA and whether or not it was a good thing for the country to keep people employed and allocating all these funds to different projects. I think the culmination of this project here today is a testimonial to how well the ERA funds worked here in the state of Connecticut. Not only from the Department of Energy through Department of Social Services with new opportunities, the Connecticut Energy Efficiency Fund, as Mr. Gaudiosi spoke about, and the private and the local partnership that we all had here from the Housing Authority itself and the funds that all you folks pay into every month. What's also great about this project is that every item here was installed and or manufactured here in the state of Connecticut. There was window replacements here. So the windows that were installed on some of the units are from manufactured here in the state of Connecticut. The company that installed the ductless heat pumps is a Connecticut company. So you couldn't be prouder of bringing all these resources to bear on this project. Dr. Gatling, you mentioned about all the trials and tribulations, and my father would say to me, well, if it was easy, everybody would just do it. Well, not everybody can just do this work, weatherization work, and doing the work. And I'd like to recognize my counterpart from Connecticut Light and Power, Lamont White, who's also here today, that's working on other projects throughout the state of Connecticut with new opportunities and the other CAP agencies working with the Energy Efficiency Fund to bring these projects to reality. So Lamont, welcome. We have had the privilege to work with everybody on this project. I guess you can kind of blame us for bringing ductless heat pumps to the forefront. Mike has been a great advocate, Mike Gareka here, for the technology. UI and CLMP worked directly with the Department of Energy to get this technology approved. This was not a technology that the Department of Energy was recognizing as an energy efficient technology. And working with the Department of Social Services and the companies and the funding from the Energy Efficiency Fund, these are now an approved technology to be used in housing developments for which you folks live in. And we hope this will carry on throughout the nation so that other folks can have the same experience as you folks are having. Who would have thought on September 26th we'd be sweating like pigs out here today with the heat, right? And we walked in on some of these the demos here, and boy, how cool are these units. And maybe by now, if you had an old-fashioned window rattler that you threw in through the window, you might have taken it out by now. But how convenient is it now you can go to your remote control and put on that cooling button and get some cool air. Mrs. Turner, you mentioned about one thing that I think we overlook a lot is the health and safety of these units. We have so many individuals here nationally and in the state of Connecticut that have health issues that need to have an air-conditioned environment. What a great technology to do that. At the same time, you're saving energy. 30 to 40% on your energy bill you're going to save with these units. And just, finally, just to kind of wrap this up, is that, the funding from the Energy Efficiency Fund, Dr. Gatling kind of went through all the funding. The Energy Efficiency Fund contributed about $125,000. This whole project, Dr. Gatling, was $800,000. So $100,000 of Connecticut ratepayer funds leverage another $700,000 federally. And we should all be proud of that. That was brought here to the Hamden Housing Authority. So like everybody else has said, we've been privileged to be part of the project. We're very proud of the efforts that New Opportunities, the state of Connecticut, have made in making your homes more energy efficient and more healthy as well. So thank you very much for having us here today.
And now, last but not least, our majority leader, Brendan Sharkey. As known as the big, they told me big cheese. That's what they told me, Brendan.
Oh, big cheese. Big cheese. The little smelly cheese.
No.
I'm sorry that I'm late. I was just at and the event that I was at, I know Representative Lamar was there as well, was very exciting. And it's comparable to what we're doing here today. It's interesting that there's a kind of a theme this morning. I was at there's a new gas station being built in West Haven, which may not sound like it's a big deal, but it's actually a natural gas station for natural gas vehicles. And it's the first in the state of Connecticut. It's very exciting. It's located at Metro Taxi. If all of you take taxis at any time, Metro Taxi. They serve this area. And one of the great things is that they are built, and I'm sorry to talk about this for a second, but it's relevant. They are buying a fleet of new taxis that will be wheelchair accessible for the first time. Extremely exciting. And they'll all be running on natural gas, which is cheaper and domestic, meaning that we won't have to be relying as much on foreign oil to fuel them. Plus, they have the added advantage of being cleaner than regular gas-powered vehicles. So it's a win for everyone. But the one thing that Congresswoman Delora said at that event, and is one that I would want to repeat here, was that a portion of the funding that put that into place was federal stimulus money, the ARA money. And it's not only working for the environment, it's not only working to create jobs, it's not only working to prevent our reliance on foreign oil, but it's also providing alternative transportation for our disabled brothers and sisters in the community. So it's a win for everyone. And that's, when I saw these two things on my calendar, I couldn't have scripted it any better, because the project that we're celebrating here today is the same concept. The money that was available that made this possible in part was the federal stimulus money that enabled this whole project to happen. And by creating the kinds of efficiencies, energy efficiencies in our units, we are reducing our reliance on foreign oil and reducing the amount of energy that we consume. So this is truly a wonderful event. Hazel Ann, as always, is on the edge of these things, always pushing for efficiencies, for cost efficiencies, to use money, and saving our money as taxpayers and saving your money as residents. You're so lucky to have her as your executive director. I think we all agree with that. She's really a treasure for Hamden that we really don't ever want to give up. So hopefully you'll never leave. But I just wanted to come and congratulate the whole effort that went into this. It's very exciting, and it's exactly the way we want to move not only our country but our state in terms of energy efficiency and job creation. So thanks very much for having me.
Thank you, and I'm going to make this real quick so we can go in and have a wonderful lunch. You must join us. Our chef who does our assisted living has made a special lunch. But I have to say, The reason that this was all possible, all these years of doing such great innovative work, was our commissioners. And I'm going to ask them each to stand, and I'll introduce them. Please all stand, the commissioners. They've made this all possible.